Round 1. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 168.5 episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends at Audio Technica. I am your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan 8bit, and today on the PAX show floor. And joining me today, I've got three very special guests because we got sick of Saleem's shit and we've kicked him out. So we have brought in today for our PAX special Jono Pech, who can be found at Jono himself, Skreemus, who can be found at Skreemus, that's Skreemus, and Matty Perkins, who can be found at Matty Jerkins. How you doing today, boys?
Oh, it's good to be here. It's always good to be on THG, and with these lads too.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to be here.
Making their Hungry Gamers debuts. It's been a long time coming, so apologies about that. I'm pretty slack with scheduling, but we got you here.
We've got a couple of patrons here too.
We do.
Awesome. Yeah.
We do.
Big time supporters.
Lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
Over the years, especially lately.
Listeners, he's always got a pretty deep bassy tone, but he's really stepped it up a notch for this episode. So
I figured I'd do something special for the boys. Cause
yes.
It just you can't go to PAX and not remember it in some way. So I think for the rest of my life, I'll potentially just sound like this.
How much sleep are you on now for the combined 3 days?
For the combined 3 days, I think I've had maybe 7.5 hours, maybe eight,
Nice.
potentially maybe.
You're doing pretty good considering you're John Law's dad, so you're going all right there, mate.
Yeah, I got in the Uber, I think it was a couple of days ago, and he says to me, he goes, "Oh, mate, are you related to Darren Lockyer?" Nah, champion.
So I guess before we get too heavy on this, maybe we should get a little bit of an origin story, maybe some elevator pitches on who you are, what you do. Tell us about your things. If we're going sort of around the circle here, Skreemus, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you get up to, and whatever else you want to throw in.
Yeah, so as you know, I'm Skreemus. I'm from a podcast called TRP, the Review Podcast. Formerly a member of Neon Lights Gaming. And at the moment, I'm just sort of freelancing it, just chilling out, doing my thing.
Pick him up. Freelancer, subcontractor, gun for hire, at Skreemus on the socials. Pick him up. What about you, Jerko?
So I do a whole bunch of nothing, really. I do USM...
Valvoline commercials here and there.
Valvoline commercials, mostly for Toyota and stuff like that. Not allowed near schools at the moment, though. but yeah, so I own and operate a brand called Ultra Super Mega. We're doing a bit of soul searching at the moment and trying to find out exactly what we are. I host a podcast called The Megacast as well, and you can just find me doing social stuff around the place as well.
Especially on TikTok, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
We've got ourselves a bit of a celebrity here.
I don't know how that's happened, because it kind of only dawned on me yesterday, because I've got 30,000 followers nearly on TikTok now.
Jeez, man.
And I'm like, I should probably do something with that, maybe. It sort of just crept up on me, because I've been doing it for a couple of months now, and a couple of my videos have gone like semi-ish viral, I guess, with like 500,000 views and like
That's viral.
a bunch of stuff and stuff like that.
It's ridiculous, but it's so great.
It's so weird. Not if you see the videos, it's probably not as great.
Do you have like a style, like a thing you do, or is it just random stuff every time?
So generally they're knowledge-based. So like,
knowledge.
one of my videos is like, did you know that the average toilet flushes in the key of E flat? And then I flush a toilet, and then it got like 250,000 views.
Just for a toilet flush, man.
And stuff like that. And like, I think the one that the one this is going to go so well with this voice too. Shit. The one that's got the most is me teaching you how to tie rope handcuffs.
Yeah. So you did like a little bit of BDSM on TikTok.
A little bit. That one video. I did one video because I think it's very interesting. Because I just think it's an interesting skill, like ropes, and it's just interesting. So I did the video, and then the amount of inboxes I got in the weeks after, like in the 2 weeks after, is like, there's some thirsty people out there.
Yeah.
Well, now you can combine BDSM with ASMR with the way you say it.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's 8 letters.
Flip the rope over.
That's next level stuff. Like, you could start showing different knots, like blood knots and hangman knots and all these other things.
Well, this one, it's really easy because TikTok, you're limited to 1 minute. So
you can tie a lot of knots in a minute, though.
You're surprisingly.
I've seen you operate.
Yeah, I can tell you. But I'm actually looking at branching out. So I'm currently in talks with a couple of people because I want to start potentially maybe doing 1 minute game reviews, quick game reviews, and trying to get some sort of a brand going on TikTok where you can use it for more than just lip-syncing videos and being a thought. So I'm not too, we'll see, but yeah, it should be good. So
I reckon you could definitely target the over 60s market as far as you could promote aged care homes, like life insurance, car servicing.
With how old I am, yeah.
Early bird specials, all that. With that voice, mate. You are.
Voice as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was quite funny. I think it was Logitech yesterday, and I sort of said, I'll do this TikTok thing. I've got, this many followers, and they said, what are you doing on TikTok? Isn't that like a young person's app? I'm like, yes. Good question. I don't know. I don't know.
It's really popping, isn't it? TikTok is the hotness right now.
It's the new Vine. Everyone's calling it the new Vine. So, I don't know. I think it's an interesting sort of place because I guess I'm what you'd call not an early adopter, but as it's gotten bigger, I'm on the sort of train as it's coming up, and it's going to be interesting to see if it can even be used for brands.
Oh, of course it can.
Well,
these social media influencers, these scantily clad women, just taking 2 seconds to promote a teeth whitening thing, If you've got a minute to promote Valvoline's new, high-grade engine cleaner, you can talk a lot about oils in 60 seconds.
Especially if it sounds like I've already drank it. So,
It's pretty addictive too, though. Even from like a watching point of view, it's pretty addictive.
Yeah.
I found myself the last week emptying my phone battery out, just scrolling through TikTok. And
what's your TikTok kinks that you got going on? What's the stuff that's drawing you in?
I think it's more like the dance crave stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It's just watching the people try and do like the top TikTok dance moves and failing at it. I just love watching that kind of stuff.
One dude who made a dance and he got suspended from his school, and that video's got 12.5 million likes and views and stuff. There's another who did a spooky, the song "Spooky Scary Skeleton." That fucking
that's a big one.
He did a dance to that, and that's got millions upon millions of views and likes, and it's just going mental. So it could be. It already is a big platform, but it could be the next big platform. So
it sounds like it's going to be well positioned until Facebook buy them or something. That's probably the inevitable final step.
Yeah, when they remove the like counts and all that sort of stuff and make it really hard for influencers to use the platform.
It's like Highlander rules. There can be only one, and Facebook is they're from the Clan McLeod. So
they're a scary beast.
Facebook or Highlanders?
Well, both actually. Yeah. Aren't they the same thing?
Pretty much. The only way to kill Zuckerberg is to decapitate him. So,
he's a robot, but he just keeps talking.
He's something. He is something. But you know what else is something? Fucking PAX Australia. Woo! We're here, day 3, Sunday. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. The wankers behind us at Cooler Master are carrying on like no tomorrow again. Who wants a free rudimentary crappy mouse pad?
And everyone goes, yeah.
Mate, that's the problem with youth today, mate. They want the freebies even if it isn't worth the cost of freedom.
It's worth the cost of catching it.
Yeah.
I think yesterday it was a bag, like a Woolies looking bag.
Yeah.
They're going crazy for a bag.
These Melbourne hipsters, they'd be all about that. It's probably, made of some local hemp that they've sort of fashioned from a homeless man's sack. And
can I just say, the amount of top knots is fucking alarming. There's so many. Yeah. There is a lot. There's a very large amount. It's shocking.
And it's only getting worse. Sunday is sort of obviously the winding down period of PAX, but there is still a lot of traffic here on the show floor. You can't really tell here on the AT booth because these BP40s just isolate all this white noise around us, Nothing but the best here. Absolutely. But we're at PAX. I guess we should probably talk about games and experiences and what we've sort of tackled over the last few days. Maybe we sort of go back round the circle, start with Valvoline himself. What have you been doing? Have you been playing anything of note? What's some highlights? Share some thoughts.
Mate, taking out the competition last night was a bit of a highlight. I'll tell you that. That was pretty good. In fact, the first game we played, that plane game, that was awesome.
Baron Fur or?
Baron, yeah. It was actually a lot of fun. I honestly haven't played that much this year. I've mostly been here networking and meeting people and meeting with brands and a bunch of stuff.
Swinging that TikTok big sort of status around, haven't you?
I only started on that yesterday morning because I was here the first day and I didn't think that anyone would be interested, so I didn't mention it. And so I was like, you should mention that. I was like, oh, okay. So then I started. But I haven't really played too much. I love PAX and I love the games here, but I kind of feel weird about playing really early release copies, versions of games, because I don't want to like ruin it for myself.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
It can sort of
sometimes.
shape the wrong opinion
Yeah.
too. Like if it is a beta build or an alpha build and it's not what you want it to be, so then when it comes out, it could be obviously much improved and higher polished. You're like, maybe
It's
I'll
like
wait.
the Avengers game. I was over there and I was seeing people play it, and I went to take a photo, and he's like, no photos, mate.
Yeah.
I can't take photos. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, no photos. This is pre-alpha. Like, this is like really, really early build. It's gonna be completely different. Like, why are you letting people play it then?
Yeah, in an open area like that. It's not closed off. But yeah, I played a bit of Avengers, if we sort of segue. I don't know if you guys have played. Anyone else here?
No, not yet.
Tried some. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, obviously, there was a few little bugs and jitters here and there to be expected on a pre-alpha, but yeah, you got to sort of sprinkle the main Avengers flavour. You start as Thor, you transition to Iron Man, then you go into Hulk, and then you go into Captain America, and then you finish with Black Widow. So you get a smattering of the big five. They do a little nice cut to Miss Marvel. You see her sort of in her high school outfit under duress. But that was a nice little nod. But it's pretty cool. Like, Iron Man was the least enjoyable.
Yeah, that's interesting because if you follow the comics, reasonably, it might have been undone, but reasonably recently, they announced Hulk was immortal.
Yeah.
He's just, you can't kill him. He's indestructible. I mean, I'm a massive nerd, so he's been thrown through a sun. He's had universes collapse on him. He's survived. I just kind of feel like he wouldn't have a health bar in the game.
No.
Just like choose the Hulk.
But he does. But he was probably the most enjoyable to play.
Yeah.
Because it is like, just remember like games like Rampage, where you were just running rock shot through the whole town. Like you're smashing tanks, you're jumping large distances, you're picking up dudes, slamming around, using them as weapons. So that was really cool. Captain's like got that more sort of traditional brawler style, just fists and shields. Black Widow's sort of a hybrid, she's sort of quick but heavy on the melee. Iron Man sucked. Like anyone that played Anthem knows what sort of playing as Iron Man should be like. But sadly, Avengers doesn't really nail their own IP in that regard.
That's really disappointing.
Yeah, the targeting system was pretty hit and miss. And just when you are sort of floating around, you get above a certain area and they're like, lower, like return to orbit almost, otherwise you're going to lose the mission. So that was kind of shit where you do have this glass ceiling above you as Iron Man as far as the verticality. But it's pretty cool. You fight Taskmaster at the end. That's no secret. It's been in all the video and the sort of sizzle reels sneaking around. But I'm excited for it in May. Like, similar to you, I'm a big sort of Marvel nerd, and I'm excited to see what they do with it and how they're going to sort of transition in. Obviously, they kill off Captain America as far as the big story goes. So it's going to be pretty cool. Looks gorgeous. The voice acting's on point. But that's probably the biggest title I've played.
Yeah, fair. I don't think I only just saw Destroy All Humans. I didn't even know it was here. I was like, what the hell? I was like, that was here. So I've been here for constantly 2 days and still haven't seen everything. So.
Yeah, it's
massive. Yeah.
It's you come here with the best intentions to like, I'm going to play everything on the show floor. I'm going to spend time here and there, and then it's like, I'm going to go get a beer. I'm going to get a burger. I'm going to have a nap. I'm going to go make fun of that guy. Like it's.
And then you go, God, I really want to play that. And you walk up and you go, how long's the line? They're like, oh, it's like an hour and a half. And you go, oh, I don't want to play it that much.
Yeah. So what else have you played?
No, not much. Just my voice, really. I've played a few of the indie games. I always like go and check out the party crashes and stuff like that. I want to get through the indie game section today. That's where I'm going to spend a lot of my time today. Go and meet up with all the indies and have a chat to them. And they'll probably look at me very weird for a bit. I'd say go play a lot of those games. And I actually want to check out the board game section down the back as well. So I can check out some of that stuff.
100%. What about you, Skreemus? What have you been playing?
The same. Not really much, actually. The same thing. I've just been walking around, chatting with people. I found a new appreciation for the board game section.
Hell yeah.
Because this year I've just started getting into D&D, so I'm like, now I kind of like understand the hype for like, I need those dice. I need multiple dice for some reason. And
those dice vendors would be making an absolute
killing.
The costs that they charge for some of these dice, it's highway robbery. Like, I need to start making dice. Like, that's the meal ticket right there, I think.
It's true. But God, they're sexy looking dice.
Oh, yeah.
They're good looking dice. Someone like me who's a noob to the D&D scene, I'll be like, $120, that's a bargain, I'll take that. Thank you, you know what I mean? Like,
especially when there's like panda fur and tungsten mixed in there or some bullshit. Like, it's ridiculous. But, it's worth its weight in gold because they'll get extinct eventually. So if you can be one of the only men on the planet with a set of panda and tungsten dice, I think you're, looking good for the future.
Actual human bone dice.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
There'd be people.
There's like, deer antler horn bone. Yeah, there's stuff in that. And I was like, wow, okay, that's OP. I'm like, so, but no, I'm sort of like the both ends, sort of indie one side, and I walk straight through to the board games and sort of chill out on those two ends. I'm the same thing, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go play this game, and then an hour and a half wait. I can wait a few months.
Yeah, like, I have a newfound respect for a lot of the general punters that are coming in and queuing for several hours at a time to play a 10 or 20 minute rail demo. Like power to them. Like, I love video games, but I don't think I love a single game enough to wait 3 hours to play 20 minutes knowing it's coming out the next month.
Yeah, some of them are already out too. Like, you see people queuing up for, you know, like Link's Awakening and stuff.
I think we're also pretty lucky though. I don't think we should sort of forget that we get to do this every, like, I mean, this is my third PAX now. This is you've been going to PAX for ages. We're very lucky that we sort of get to experience PAX in a way that not many other people do. I've got a very special person laughing at me right now.
The mayor of PAX has just rolled into town.
The mayor of PAX has just rolled up, and he's just having a bit of a chuckle at me.
Adam Perry.
Yeah, Adam Pez. But
we're 72 going on 62. The poor fella. Like,
looking at 2.
My goodness.
But we're very lucky, so we get to do this every year, and we get to see PAX in a very different way. I think if I had, you know, first world problems, if I'd have paid for my ticket, I think I'd be a lot more likely to sort of stand in line. You know what I mean? I think if I had
You don't. I pay for my ticket. I don't stand in line.
Yeah, fair. Well, I guess it's just, it's sort of, I don't know. I feel very lucky to be here. So.
100%. Like, for the ones that do get the media, the content, the special guests or whatever, it is a privilege. But, I just hate waiting for anything in life, whether it be games, whether it be my dinner, you know, whether it be traffic. You know, I ain't got time for none of this. So
Busy boy.
Oh, and I'm just very impatient. That's something I need to work on. But
I'm the same. I don't like waiting, but yet I'll show up half an hour before a movie starts to a cinema. You know, just because I like to feel that sort of, like, I don't know, the surrounding.
That punctuality, though, that's a lost art. You know, everyone is eternally running late, me especially. But yeah, I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, I'm always 20 minutes early to a movie.
So have you played anything? Like, I know you've been talking about a lot of board games and things, but have you had a smattering amongst the indies? Anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I've had a few games of Reef Battles. They're here for another 3 years running. They're here again.
Shout out to Juicy Cupcake.
They're awesome guys. Damsel as well.
Yeah.
Damsel's so good.
They are just going from strength to strength with that game, aren't they?
The game is they're local. Like, I'm from Queensland. They're Brizzy.
Yeah, so
a lot of respect for them. Great game too. Great game.
It's a really good game, that one. I've just been just wandering through and playing bits and pieces. But besides that, it's more just like walking around and chilling out. And, going through.
Yeah, I think PAX is very much the social aspect. I'd say for the vast majority of the people that come to this thing is the highlight of it.
Yeah.
Either whether it be their yearly pilgrimage, bringing their raid clan all together from across the country, or their podcast crew, or whatever it is, and getting together, having a couple of cans, having a laugh, playing some games, making fun of Cooler Master and their shitty hype crowd thing they got going on over there. Like,
it's not going to be the games that you remember like years down the track. Like, oh, remember that time I played Detroit Become Human before it came out? Like, I do remember that, but that's not the thing that stands out the most. You know,
it's going to be like next year. It's going to be like, remember when Perko sounded like a potential sex pest? Like,
exactly.
Good times.
God.
That's like I said before. This podcast, this PAX is very different for me this year because every year I've come with the crew.
Yeah.
This year it's just my brother and I, and it's like it's a different PAX. It's a different feel without a crew. It's like now it's actually meeting new friends and old friends, and
that's the thing. You're building on your crew now. You know,
that's it. Yeah.
You're alone woofing, but you're never really alone here.
That's it. That's true. Yeah, very true. Like, say 2-3 years ago, if I went to a convention, I'd sort of walking around going, look at all these people hugging and catching up, and it's coming like that now. Like third year now, and it's, people you see, and it's like
people you meet. You meet them once a year. At PAX.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's like a compressed high school reunion.
Yeah, it's like a time chamber because you also meet these people and it's like nothing. Like you just meet up with them. It's like, oh, hey man, how you going? I haven't spoken to you in like a year, but nothing has changed. Let's go catch a beer and let's.
That's it. Yeah.
But then you see Pez, it's like, man, it looks like I haven't seen you in 30 years. You how was your 60th, mate? Like, what's going on?
It's hard being the mayor of PAX, mate.
That's it. Borderlands. There's over 1 billion guns. That's a lot of guns to count. It'd be stressful.
He named every one of them. Every single one of them.
They're all ripe with spelling mistakes.
He's fucked the game completely from the ground. It is a great game, though.
It is a good game, and we love you, Pez. And 2K, you're doing some good stuff.
They really are. There's a few brands at the moment that are just maybe not Blizzard, but there's a few brands doing very, very good things at the moment. Like companies that are like Ubisoft are doing really well. Like that, they're listening to the community and fixing up a bunch of their games.
Yeah.
2K are back. There's a bunch of companies that are really, really breaking the mold and doing really good things with their games. And it's great to see. It really is good to see. Best time to be a gamer. Best time.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic.
Speaking of good times to be gaming, what have you been playing at PAX show floor, Jono Pech?
Well, I like you thought I'd be coming in and playing all these big games, but it was really just that first day in that hour that the media gets before people roll through the doors to thousands of people. And I thought, I definitely want to get into some of these. So I walked past the Marvel Avengers line to Final Fantasy VII and gave that demo a shot.
Did you really?
I did. I did indeed. It is good. It feels really good. Like, there's some issues with how it looks, but it is also like the Avengers are pre-alpha or whatever it's called. And then
it comes out in March though, so it's not too
first
far.
episode,
Yeah, but I just feel like it's the same slice that they've used at E3 and at previous conventions. So I'm sure the game right now is way further along than this, but there's just little things like the character model's hair. It has that kind of speckly effect, and it just hasn't been rendered, and it doesn't look like current gen. Everything else looks amazing. The lighting.
Can't stuff up Cloud's hair because Cloud's hair is iconic.
I reckon he's got that insured.
Like,
you have to. But like, everything else looks amazing. The faces and like the I guess the effects of the spells and the enemies and everything. It feels really good too, and it was great to kind of pick it up and get an idea of what it's going to be like to see that game go from what we know as this traditional JRPG, like classic PS1 game, to something that's a bit more free roaming, and you can smash boxes with your sword as you're wandering around and get power-ups that way. And the way that the battle systems work is really interesting too, with the kind of hybrid of the ATB system that we know. So it's good to kind of, you can watch the videos and you can watch the demos that are out on YouTube, but getting to actually have a go at it, you just get a better sense of whether it's for you, I think. And I think that game's going to do really well.
Has it got you pretty keen? Like, after getting your hands on it, are you still excited for when this this first episode drops?
I'm a huge FF7 fan. Like, it was one of my most memorable PS1 games back in the day. So it's a game that I've replayed like every 5 to 10 years since, and it's like one of those fantasies that, pun intended, I guess, but it was one of those fantasies for it to get remade for years. Like, even going back to PS3 when they did the old tech demo of what it would look like, and
rumors of it so long.
Yeah, and we've been waiting for this. Like, it got revealed in 2015, 2014 or something. So
it is my favorite game of all time. Final Fantasy VII was the game that showed me that games could be about story, that they could be deeper than just a side scroller or something else. I played RPGs before that, but Final Fantasy VII was the first game that I'd go to high school. I had a binder with where to find all the summons.
Yeah,
you go and look up on the internet, and you go all these fan pages and stuff. And did you know this was here?
Because it was 4 discs, right? If I remember, three.
Yeah, first was 3.
Yeah, I just remember the big chunker I had way back when.
Yeah, fantastic game. I'm excited, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic about it. I'm cautious.
You have to temper it a bit, because it's a high degree of difficulty when you're looking at something that's beloved that much. Like, there will be some nostalgia, but there'll also be an added pressure because of that nostalgia. You won't just give it a free pass necessarily. And because we know it's going to be different, it's automatically going to get criticism regardless of how good it is. Even just being split up into sections, and people will say it wasn't long enough, or they'll say that they put too much detail into this section, and we're going to have to wait how long for the next one. So
even as much as the characters now have voices, which is something they never did in the original.
Yeah.
The way that I remember the lines being spoken, even if they have the exact same dialogue, the way that I read a line in my head could completely change the way a conversation went in the game.
Well, speaking of that, all the games in the demo were all the voices were Japanese, which is pretty trippy to hear, Barrett, big black dude with the Japanese voice coming out. It's like, oh, okay.
Probably
sounds a bit like me. Sounded intimidating, yeah.
And he's yelling stuff out in the middle of the battle, telling, I don't know if he's yelling at the enemy or he's yelling at Cloud, but it's not always subtitled. So, it's a demo, it's a taste of the game, and if you feel like playing it and you feel like lining up today, It'll be.
There is the PlayStation
disappoint.
Experience app. You may be able to book a slot.
That is I might have to do that.
You may.
By the way, Square Enix, if you're looking for someone to voice the the English version of Barrett, I will have this voice for a couple more days.
The Aussie version, I think. There will have to be the Aussie translation, yeah.
Scarred on Cloud.
Yeah.
Scarred on Legend.
Yeah. We've got to save the planet, Cloud.
Come on, Cloud, let's go fuck up Shinra. Let's go.
That's it.
So right after that, I headed on over to the Pokemon Sword and Shield line, and got in there, got the water gym demo, basically. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen. It's probably been online. I'm not sure. I haven't followed it that closely.
No
but
one's on the internet. They're on TikTok now.
So it's like your puzzle before getting to the gym leader, and it's basically toggling different like bridges and things to get through to the end of the level. And while you're running around, you're getting into battles with people, and all your Pokemon are level 50. You can switch them out, and they've got basically all the starters, and then a few other like ones that we've seen in the demos and stuff.
Have you got a Surfetch?
No, I was not there. You had the
man.
I forget his name, but the like metal crow dude.
Yeah, and he's got the hat on.
Yeah.
What is this? It's not Murkrow. That's another guy again. And he's the taxi service in the game too.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's interesting. That's another game that's been wanted for like a 3D Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's another game that's like
I've been
has
keen.
been spoken about for
eons.
Since the first.
Since the GameCube, pretty much. Yeah.
Like, when are they going to finally do it? It's interesting to see they're finally doing one.
It looks so pretty.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks stunning. And if Let's Go gave us sort of a taste of what it'd be as like a starter entry-level baseline, and now getting this full-fledged version, hand-holding's gone and everything like that. I'm keen. That's what, 17th of November, 15th of November, something like that?
It's a month away,
So is it the same day as Death Stranding or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
So weird.
Yeah. Do you want to catch Pokemon made of strawberries and cream, or do you want to piss on stuff? That's the two options.
Yeah.
It's such a weird like Pokemon and Death Stranding. The same. I'm probably going to buy both. I'm going to walk up to the counter and they're going to be like,
Is this one for your kid?
If you got that voice, they won't question it. They'll be like, yeah, he's into some things.
I'll take both of these, please.
Yeah, but no, it was good to play. I hadn't played.
And this box set of the Babysitter's Club.
I hadn't played a Pokemon game since Black, I think, on the DS, so it was good to see what's changed since then. Even just some small stuff, I guess, like giving you an item, like description for each move that you can do, and you can like look up what type the other Pokemon is. I know it's probably been in a couple of versions of previous Pokemon games, but as someone that's kind of a casual Pokemon fan but really excited about this, definitely gave me a bit more to look forward to.
What about you, Skreemus? Does Pokemon move the needle for you? Are you a bit of a Pokemon fan, or?
Not anymore, unfortunately, no. I've sort of moved away from Pokemon. Like,
Okay.
I was a massive fan back in the day,
Yep.
and then I think I walked away from it, and then there was like 20,000 more Pokemon, and I was like, damn.
I can't keep up with this.
You're just a traditionalist. You want that OG 151.
OGs,
and that's it.
yeah. I remember when Pokemon Go came out, it was a big thing, and my wife, she doesn't play games at all. And she's like, I want to play this Pokemon Go. I'm like, go for it. And she got addicted. 2 a.m. waking me up going, there's a Pikachu somewhere, we got to go. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, so that was probably the last time I've ever played it, like a Pokemon was Pokemon Go when it first came out.
Which was a phenomenon, man. Pokemon Go it was ridiculous.
It's still really big. Like they have gyms and stuff around PAX.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. I loved when that came out. Like around where I live, it's not a rough neighborhood, but you wouldn't be walking at like 11:30 at night. And there was people walking in the park all together, just Pokemon going, and I was like, wow, they're getting kids out, not at night time, but during the day and stuff. The game was amazing.
Yeah.
Same with like when Harry Potter Wizard Unite came out.
Yeah.
The same thing started again. You started seeing more people out and about walking and things like that. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, they just punch their way into mainstream culture, you know. It gets reported on the news, and your mum and your neighbours and everyone else is playing it instead of just the random stereotypical gamers, you know, and I like that. Did you guys play Pokemon Masters at all? It's sort of come out in the last couple of months on the mobile as well.
No, I checked out I checked out one. It was like a track one. I don't know what it was like. It was very, very weird. I checked out. I don't think it was Pokemon Masters. There's a few out now. I think there's like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't think I checked out Masters. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it's just a battler. And you play with 2 other sort of squad mates. So you sort of synergize attacks and whatever else. But it's all right. It's a good little snap game. Like, Obviously, there is some heavy microtransaction flavors in there. That, you know, I may not have partaken in here or there just to try and get. Oh, here we go. Who wants another free shitty hat? It's ridiculous.
Who wants a T-shirt that you will never wear?
Yeah.
It's going to the op shop in 2 years.
I feel like we're at a bloody Insane Clown Posse. Like we're at the Juggalo convention or whatever it
We're
is.
talking shit about juggalos. We're a family.
You're actually starting to sound like a bit of like a juggler there.
Magnets. How the fuck did they work? I don't know, something like that.
Oh my goodness. But Jono, you played anything else? Oh, I guess on the Pokemon, like, what was your feeling? Like, did it, because you said you sort of been off the train for a while, but you sort of appreciate the world.
I'm all in on Pokemon. Like, since the Sword and Shield was revealed, I was like, yeah, I got to get a Switch. And I've been pretty keen, pretty looking forward to it. Playing through Ni no Kuni on PS4 at the moment to kind of
the superior Pokemon game
to get into that world. Yeah, it's I'm in the mood for it, and it's going to be something where I'm probably going to play Death Stranding first because I'm guessing that's going to be like a 12-hour game. And then
the world's never going to be the same after you finish Death Stranding. You're going to question everything in life.
I think I questioned it just watching the trailers. I was like,
my god!
Like, righto, Kojima, it's going to be good, I guess.
It's a new genre, like it's the Strand genre now, and we're all interconnected. And
saw a great Death Stranding cosplay yesterday. This couple had an actual baby on their front. Yeah, perfect. But yeah, I'm going to play Death Stranding, and then I'm going to let Pokemon be my next couple of months. You know, baby's coming in December. I think it'll be a good one to kind of pick up and put down, and not have to do those marathon sessions like you might want to with a game with a bit more narrative like Death Stranding.
Are you going shield or dog with sword in mouth?
Sword, I think. Is that got the far-fetched dude in it?
I think Sir Fetch is in.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going for sword.
Dog with sword in mouth. That's scary. Like, if I got home and saw Winston just trucking around the house with a fucking sword in his mouth, I'm like, take what you want, man. Like,
you're the
it's
captain
yours.
now,
Yeah.
It's your place now.
Yeah, plus, shields are boring. Defense.
Yeah.
It was to defend against.
I never defend
things. Attack.
And it's flawed. Like, the shield is his head, and the shield is around his face. They just punch him in the nose, and he's down. Like,
I mean, realistically, that's going to be a head trauma. He's probably stupid as shit. Like, he's got no brain cells left. He's getting black head all the time. He defends with his face.
Highlander rules again. You know, just take that head off, and he's got nothing.
It's true.
Yeah, but outside of like Avengers. Played a couple of indies. Got to dabble twice with Hawk Knights.
That was fun, wasn't it?
Which is a great little indie.
It's
done
awesome.
Like through La Trobe University, sort of championed a lot of that.
Yeah, I can't remember which university it was. I think that might have been the collaboration between was it the Kiwi guys?
Yeah. And La Trobe, I think.
Yeah.
But it's great. It was sort of like Smash Bros meets
Gang Beast. And a little bit of Nidhogg thrown in there.
Yeah, stupid fun. Really impressive visuals, especially the environments. Just like how everything you could interact with, like there was like a backstory. You play as like little avatar-sized foods, hams, donuts, and whatever else, and you've got a blunt or a sharp appendage that you've got to try and stab the other players with.
Yeah.
And you have a fight like over a barbecue and in a camping site and all these other
kitchens.
And the environments they put together were fantastic. But you were saying like they engaged a third party, like environmental specialists to sort of tackle that part of the game.
Yeah, like the lighting and stuff in those backgrounds is pretty amazing. Like there's a sunset over a beach and rippling off the waves, and it looks really impressive. But the character models too, I think are really cool. Like they're really fun. Every one of them is pretty hilarious and memorable, and they stand out from each other. They have really great food puns in there. We know you love a bit of a food pun.
I'm getting tingly just thinking about it.
But talking to the guy that designed those, he had like 50 characters, and he had to like narrow it down to I think there's like 12 in the game or something.
Fondude was my favourite.
Fondude, Serious Ham, and there was.
Yeah, I went with what was the donut guy?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Mr. Doughboy, Doughboy.
Yeah. But no, I'm like you, Perko. I want to try and take some time today to get amongst more of those indies. And I've sort of had a little bit of a newfound addiction pop up regarding minis and painting. Like
I heard you spent some time. Some mini painting yesterday.
So we're going to go into the free paint area again later today and see if I can actually wield a paintbrush with any level of skill and ability.
Need some grace.
Yeah, like, but after having all types of different cocktails the last few days, like I got the Michael J. Foxes going on, something shocking. So we'll see how we go. But I'm looking forward to that, and like, sort of secret shame, but I'm thinking of buying a Warhammer Warcry set. Because, it's
not a secret anymore.
Harkening back to when I was like 12, had a massive Chaos Army, and I think I want to get the Warcry because it's like 45-minute game, super quick, little 8-man squads, no nonsense.
That's how it starts. This is how addiction starts.
Oh yeah,
this is how it begins. In 2 years' time, you'll be here at PAX. You'll be talking, you'll be broke, back on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to be on that bridge, like knelt over with the hat in front of me, asking for some Warhammer change.
Some minis. No, you're asking for the minis. Can anyone hit any minis?
Can you spare some paint?
Can you spare some paint? Get out of here, you fucking paint sniffer. No, not for me, for the minis. I'm painting minis.
Yeah, sure, mate, sure. Any of you guys dabbled in Warhammer, or like I know you were saying you're jumping into D&D, so that's a nice little extension. But are you all about the mini life?
I wasn't until Pirate introduced me to like painting the minis. And he's like, I'm like, I can't paint them. I'm just shaking around. I can't do it. And like 4 hours later, I blink. I'm sitting there painting this little mini, and I think it looks good. And then you put a magnifying over top of it, and you're like, I've got to start again. I've got to do it again. And then another 4 hours.
Well, then you look at one online, and you go,
oh my God. The skills some of these people have, like you walk past the sort of the glass cabs, and they're all got their little armies painted, and it's like Da Vinci's rolled in there and smattered paint around the joint. Like it's pretty special.
It's pretty massive on like the Twitch and all that as well. Like they're watching people paint the minis and do things like that. But
I didn't get into Warhammer. I did get into for a little while building Gundams.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Those and stuff as well. So I was into that for a bit, and I was like, this shouldn't be too hard to paint. It's freaking hard, man. You've got some skill to do that stuff, and Gundams are at least pretty big.
Yeah, you can get some big models.
Yeah, you can. So it's pretty interesting. But the techniques they use to fill the little lines, and you put a little bit of alcohol in there, then you just touch the paint, and it sort of runs through the line. There's some really cool techniques that people use. And you can learn a whole bunch of it.
It's an art form, and just the patience some of these people have to spend hours painting a mini that's an inch high, and it just looks so lifelike. And then they start doing like the speckling on the ground for the grass and the textures, and like, hats off to them. Yeah. And then there's speed painters in there, like where they try and paint minis in under like 20 minutes. And the detail they churn out in 20 minutes is just insane.
More than I churn out in 20 days.
Yeah.
God, I'm terrible at this.
Especially if you're boxing, it's pretty tough when you got the cocktail jitters.
With your shakes and my voice, we've got this is a cocktail of laughs at the moment.
We're getting locked up. That guy's getting locked up this afternoon too. But we'll be right there with him. My goodness. He just stepped out of bloody House of 1,000 Corpses, that bloke. Did you see him?
I didn't. Did he?
Holy moly. He went round that way.
Okay. There's been some... Actually, that's another thing we should talk about. The cosplay that's been here has been outrageously good.
Yeah.
So I've been carrying a camera around, and unfortunately I haven't caught a lot of the really good stuff just because I know it's usually been like I've dropped my camera back for a bit. There's been some cosplay that has been just mind-blowing. God, man, people have a massive amount of talent for this stuff. It is incredible to see. It really is.
Like the money and the time that gets invested into that with some of these cosplays, it's insane. Like it's like art realized in real, like transitioning into that real life. You see it straight off the page or off the screen, and yeah, testament to everybody that gets involved in that cosplay space, and even testament to them like walking from their Airbnb down the street in this heavy ass shit, getting all those kinds of looks and whatever else.
Yeah.
Like
it's a real commitment to put on some of those things too. Like they do not look comfortable. It's hard enough wandering around PAX with normal clothes on,
Yeah, I'm sweating right now just in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah. Like
it is fun.
I'm just a sweaty person.
It is great seeing these people out of context. I was telling yesterday about seeing Ryu at the urinal. I can't remember if he was bare feet or not. Like,
was he doing any hapookins?
That would be the best, mate. If he's just in there, he just go hapookin.
Just hear it drop.
At the urinal, that would be pretty concerning. But yeah.
Sometimes the stores are full, man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. When you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah. We've got a few.
Have you ever wanted to cosplay? Or if you would, who would you cosplay as is the next question.
I don't know if it's classified as cosplay, but I went to a Renaissance fair this year, and I went just like plain clothes. And next year I'm going dressed up. I'm like, it looks pretty fun. Like, I wanted to back in the day. I think Supernova days.
Yeah.
Wanted to go and do the whole Power Ranger get up, but I never look good in spandex, so I was like,
I don't know.
I was.
Don't mock it till you try it. You might look great.
Yeah. You got to either lean really heavy into the irony of it, or you got to have a good body. So,
But it's the same thing. It's the commitment, man. Like I said, walking through these conventions and I was like, nah, I couldn't.
And it's not even just the walking, it's getting stopped every 2 seconds for a photo, having to pose, navigate the crowd, like it's elbow to elbow in here. Like,
I don't know if I can. I should be able to tell this story. It should be okay. I've got a mate. I won't say his name, but he was cosplaying here yesterday as like an agent, but he's actually a police officer.
Oh damn!
And one of his police friends was here and told him, he's like, actually, we're actually on the lookout for someone. So he was cosplaying
as an agent, looking for somebody.
Undercover, like looking for someone in his police job. And I was like, man, you can't even say you're undercover now because you're dressed like a fucking special agent. So yeah, it was pretty cool. That was pretty interesting to see.
Good on him. Yeah.
So everyone's stressing out now is going to be looking for agents now.
Yeah. No one is safe. I think if I had to do something, it'd probably be like Peter B. Parker from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because he's sort of dad bodden, out of shape, disheveled. I'm like, I can pull that look off. Just give me the Spider-Man underneath, the trackies, one boot. I can make that work.
You could do J. Jonah.
Oh yeah.
Just yell at all the Spider-Mans here.
So that's where I was getting at.
Get me paints for my minis.
Yeah, if I was ever to do something like that, same thing, like so you can actually cover the spandex up with some trackies or something like that. Be good fun. Same with something that's full faced as well, cover up, just be like incognito.
You could be anybody then.
I wanted to do, I didn't have the money all the time, but I wanted to do a really good Gambit one this year. Because Gambit's I think he's one of the most underrated heroes that really hasn't been represented in any kind of movie form yet. Channing Tatum was apparently supposed to play him at one point, and I'm very glad that didn't happen. But I really wanted to do like a really good Gambit cosplay and come as Gambit, and that would have been fun.
I really liked Taylor Kitsch playing him in, was it in Wolverine? Was it in Wolverine?
Yeah, it didn't give him much to do though.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
He had a good look for it though. It's all Remy LeBeau.
It was pretty good there, but I really reckon like a younger Benicio del Toro. You know he's in Snatch and he says all those lines. That'd be a really good Gambit. Like,
you need that Cajun talk.
Yeah, that Cajun.
Yeah, I got these weird little alien twin dudes just looking over your shoulder at me, trying to goose me out. Then
are they goosing?
I didn't crack.
You didn't crack.
You weird looking fuckers. Get out of here.
I can tell, maybe. I can tell you're flipping off from your pocket. I can tell the sneaky flip off.
No. Always consummate professionals around here.
Always.
So, yeah, Gambit. Like, I got to ask you, like, off topic, if you were Gambit, obviously he was all about Rogue. Like, that was his move. And you know the risks of, betting Rogue. Would you pursue those risks for your love like that?
Rogue's hot as fuck, mate. Yeah, in a heartbeat. I don't really care.
Yeah, nearly die in coitus,
Happens every time anyway. So. It's a regular Saturday night, mate.
Yeehaw.
That was a throwback to the BDSM joke.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Full circle.
Full circle.
So I guess we could sort of segue. We've still got a little bit of time before we've got to move on out for the next podcast to come its way here to the stand. But maybe we could sort of talk a little bit of loose news. Obviously, the PlayStation 5.
Can we get Perko to do the jingle?
Oh, the jingle.
Yeah, this week's news headlines.
You could try it.
Go on.
What jingle?
Just this week's news headlines.
This week's news headlines.
It sounds carbon copy. That's fantastic. So, obviously, PlayStation 5 come out, official presses, videos and all that. They've sort of rattled off some of the tech specs, talking about the adaptive triggers, which is sort of a little bit exciting, going down that sort of haptic feedback route. The disc drive for physical games and 4K Blu-ray, so they're stepping up in that regard. The game installs, where they're going to be able to park a lot of that data on the SSD, so you're going to get faster boots, faster renders. The controller doesn't have a new name yet. The UI is great. Obviously, they've now opened up to also cross-platform, which is something I think that everybody's been waiting for quite some time. They haven't really given a huge amount more detail outside of those main hit points.
Yeah, I think they announced the release window is probably the biggest thing
holiday
to take away.
2020.
The vague term of holiday.
One thing that will make me lose my shit. If they announce Discord support for PlayStation, I
wouldn't hold my breath, but
it's not going to happen.
Well, I got to say, the Ultra Super Mega Discord is one of the most active Discords in the Australian, maybe the global gaming community these days.
It's very active. If you go in there, it's not uncommon to you have to turn your notifications off with that Discord. So it's not uncommon you just get fucking spammed. There's a lot of people, a lot of active people in there, and it's a great thing. But it sucks that I can't. I'm either playing my PlayStation or I'm playing my PC, and they're very, very different groups of people at the moment because there's no like central platform where everyone can converse, and I can't like be playing a PlayStation game, talking to my friends at a PlayStation party, and still be in Discord and like So I honestly think the first like console to do that is gonna they make big waves.
100%. It's really come out of nowhere. Like, there's always your team speaks and things like that, but this has sort of bridged that gap between chat and obviously then voice chat and now video chat and everything else in between. So it's pretty cool to see. I'm just waiting to see who snaps them up. Is it going to be Sony making the power play and buying them, or Microsoft?
Microsoft have the money.
Imagine if old Google Stadia comes rolling on here and acquires that, and then it's like there's their chat hub sorted out.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Nintendo probably should have, because their chat system at the moment is a dog's breakfast.
I can't. I think the Switch. I've sort of done a 180. I haven't done a 180. I was very critical of the Switch when it came out. A lot of people. There's a lot of brand loyalty for Nintendo, and I don't think that people were critical enough of Nintendo's Switch release. I actually think it's to release a console in 2019 with that. The online is just bad.
Oh yeah.
Adding friends is bad. Voice chat is bad. The store wasn't great. And everyone was like, the Switch is the best console ever, and I was like,
it's not. It's fantastic.
It's great.
It's the best handheld the world's ever seen.
Oh, yeah,
that's for damn sure. But yeah, all the back end is just a mess.
Yeah, even still, and then they released that app on the phone. You had to have your phone screen on, and you couldn't lock your phone.
And then you need the adapter going from there to the Switch, and then your hardwired headphones. Because it still doesn't support Bluetooth headphones, does it? It's still got to be hardwired.
Neither does Sony. So it's the only Bluetooth I think that Sony supports is the Sony Bluetooth.
The official Sony one?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure anyway.
And no achievement system on the Switch still to this day.
It bums me out so much because I'm an achievement bitch.
Yeah, me too.
I love that stuff. I love my platinum trophies. In fact, even if a game now, I built a really nice, good PC, and even if I have the choice now to get on PC or PS4, and I think I can go for the platinum trophy on the PlayStation. I'll just get it on the PlayStation.
You're all about it.
You're my spirit animal.
Do you because I've got no skin in this game. I'll play a game.
Anyway.
I'll finish it, I'll really enjoy it, but I don't go hunt the platinums or the full gamer score for the Xbox or whatever else. Skreemus, are you about these stats?
No, I'm not. I'm a really online player,
and
unfortunately, there's no achievements for online playing. There's not that many. So, I've got I think on my Xbox, I think a 13-year tender.
Nice.
With a 20,000 gamer score.
Yeah.
And it's that's nothing for a 13-year tender or whatever.
Well, you know what? There's been probably about 10,000 your mum jokes on COD Online over those 13 years. So that's an achievement in itself.
Yeah, with the PlayStation 5, I'm more excited for the next-gen nostalgia feel, the new console coming out. The Xbox released the Scorpio, whatever it was, the
Xbox One X.
One X and all that. And this is that was the same kind of console. To me, I feel like it's a
new generation.
Yeah,
so it's that's exciting. So.
And I think I'm most excited for because it's a level playing field again. Everyone starts at zero.
Yeah.
Let's see where the power shifts, because obviously both respective companies are doing some good, some bad, some questionable decisions.
I realised my flies are done.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that is, IGN put out a poll I saw, and it was which feature are you most excited about? I think it was 60% of people, or it was the vast majority said backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
So the most excited thing is that they can play their old games on it, which is kind of funny
it's sort of some backwards thinking, really.
Yeah, but that's because if you look at people's PlayStation collections, there's an investment of sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, and you go out and you spend more, another $1,000 arguably on a new release console. And all of a sudden, your $10,000 investment, sometimes all the $8,000 it's gone.
And I guess there's a lot of these games that people will just want to keep playing, whether it's a Destiny 2 or whether it's a Overwatch or something. They don't have to buy a new version of it. But I guess that concept that people are excited about, that kind of goes against the idea of a fresh start. So, it might be Xbox and PlayStation 5 putting out new consoles, but if everyone's still wanting to play their PS4 games, they're probably going to go for the PS5.
That's true as well. And brand loyalty is a big thing as well. You can't, there's diehard Sony fans, there's diehard Microsoft fans, there's diehard Nintendo fans, there's people who will just bleed black and blue and tell you that right now Xbox is the best console this generation. And I've met them. They're wrong. They're very wrong.
PC Master Race, mate. PC Master Race.
I think that that loyalty, we've seen a bit of a shift this generation where so many people have switched to PS4. You can only take that away from the numbers of whatever it is, 100 million units or around about.
Also Xbox is, well, Microsoft in general, they're in a bit of identity crisis at the moment, I think. I don't think they know what they really want to do.
I think they're figuring it out, but they're playing catch up at the same time, so it's a bit hard to actually do anything that makes a dent.
I can still see
certainly sort of flown that white flag for this gen, and obviously you see all these studios they've picked up. They're certainly looking for this Xbox One S squared or whatever they're going to name this beast. With all these new exclusives coming out.
I still have a feeling it'd be intelligent for them to do it, I think, is to not get out of the console game entirely, but move more towards a software, like a Steam platform.
Yeah.
Because right now you can already get all of the first party games on Xbox and
Windows,
PC.
yeah.
I really think that what will eventually happen is anything that runs Windows 10 is an Xbox. So like the Xbox component would be built into the operating system, and then they'll pretty much go out to the HPs and the Dells of the world and say, make us some hardware.
I'm with you.
You can run Windows 10 and it'll have an Xbox on it, and then they can get out of the because all three manufacturers said there's no money for us in consoles.
Yeah.
In fact, we lose money for the first 5 years of a console's lifespan until the tech gets cheap enough. So it'd be smart for them to get out of that. And
Yeah, well, they're leaning that way, obviously, with xCloud coming up. So I think that's going to be their test bed to shift to some kind of virtual hosting platform and just have everything up in the cloud. And
when Azure's massive, like I work in IT every day. Like it's what I do for my career, IT security and IT, big enterprise level stuff. And Azure's huge, and it's only getting bigger. So their cloud service is going to be big.
Hell yeah. Well, I guess we need to start sort of closing this down for the week because we're getting close to knock-off time here. We've got another podcast coming in. Oh, no, we don't. You guys are on lunch break. Yeah.
We got some 8-bit approved stickers to be handing out too.
We do. We've got to go smatter them around some of the booths for the games that we love to play this weekend. But I guess anything else you want to say before we close this thing off? Any social plugs, any content plugs? Any Valvoline oils ain't oils sort of puns you want to throw in there? What do you got for us?
Oils ain't oils.
I just want to say, this artwork here at the Audio Technica booth.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
all weekend,
awesome
it's
job with
gone.
that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Jesse is a savant. Luckily, no one from Nintendo has cruised on over here and sort of said, "Hey, mate, we're taking you for that Misty IP that you got there." But
And Zelda, is it?
yeah, Zelda's there, Sailor Moon's there, Bulma's there.
The way I asked your beautiful partner who she thinks you are in the mural, and she actually said you were probably Misty. So
that's pretty true.
pretty standard.
She actually did break my bike, so that's why we're sort of together because I'm chasing around, waiting for my new bike. So
That's good.
yeah. No, Misty's cute as a button. She's got them little Daisy Duke shorts on. I couldn't pull off sort of the singlet she's wearing these days, and
There's your cosplay.
I wouldn't look too good with the red hair, but I'll give it a good hot crack, that's for sure.
If you cosplay as Misty, I'll come as Videl.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Let's get him. Who's going to be my Togepi? Who am I going to carry around all the time?
Actually, next year,
Winnie.
we should
Winnie.
recreate that with the wigs.
Let's do it.
For the 8-bit podcast,
Let's
the
do
8-bit cast next year.
Get
Let's
us four
recreate
back
that.
here, and we're going to be, like for like comparisons there.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good
I reckon
idea.
Skreemus look pretty good as Sailor Moon.
I think so.
I think I would too. Yeah.
It's settled. It's done.
Yeah, lock it in. It is now official on the record, and this is going to be released to the world tomorrow morning. So
Wait, no one told me that.
yeah, it's all happening, mate. So where can we find all you sexy lads before we close the sucker down?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Skreemus. I'm always lurking around there. Also on a podcast, TRP, the review podcast, found on SoundCloud and iTunes. And yeah, most of the social media there as well. So
Sweet. You can find me at Jono himself. I'll be putting up some interviews I've done here on the show floor. I've interviewed Victoria from Bungie. I've got a Devolver Digital interview happening. Had a panel a couple of days ago that will go up as a podcast as well. Just talking to some educators in video games. Pretty cool. And then my Comedy Rewind next episode with Benny, our friend Benny and Ali, who unfortunately couldn't come to PAX this year, being
Too busy
off-site.
living in America now.
We're talking
Sheesh.
We're talking basketball, so that'll be coming out on Wednesday and having a great time looking at that. So, yeah.
What about you, John Laws?
You can find me at our website, ultrasupermega.com.au. It's going to go through a big rebrand and a reshift soon. I'll do a redesign of the website. We're going to relaunch the podcast, I think, pretty soon as well. Don't know if it's going to be called the Megacast. I've got some things to go around there.
PercoCast.
Maybe.
But it's still going to be totally rad entertainment.
Totally rad entertainment. I should do stingers. We should record some stingers for just while it's here.
I'll buy some.
And Matty Perkins and most the socials, because there's actually a person in the world whose name is Matthew Jerkins.
Man, I reckon he got bullied as a kid.
I reckon so too. And I fucking did with Perkins. You jerking your gherkin, Perkins. That's ridiculous.
And so they can find you on TikTok.
Yes.
At Matty Jerkins?
At Matt Jerkins. With
Matt Jerkins.
M-A-T-T Jerkins.
I figure this might be the last time we speak to you before you ascend into sort of D-list celebrity status and forget about us all here on the PAX show floor.
D is for deep.
You're going to have your own like TikTok booth here next year. You'll be the face of it.
I sincerely hope not. Fuck.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but this has been episode 168.5 of the Hungry Gamers podcast. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe us, as well as all these other podcasts that these legends that I'm co-hosting with represent, because those ratings and reviews help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. But thank you to AT for letting us share this space again. You've always been extremely accommodating, providing us the best in audio-based equipment. But until next week, AP Nation, much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.